Why'd you break the ride? I'm Gary, and this is Coasting with Culture, which is all about combining theme park visits and riding roller coasters with various cultural experiences around the world. After flying to St. Louis to catch up with friends, then paying a visit to the fascinating City Museum, and kicking off the festivities of Stumble in the Hole with a Decades Party, it's time for a couple days at one of the best theme parks in the country, which happened to be debuting a reimagined classic. My first visit to Silver Dollar City was back in 2015 with a group of friends I met through Theme Park Review, and since had a chance to return back in the fall of 2020 for what looked to be my last trip for a while. This is a park I've been really looking forward to getting back to, especially with them rebuilding a new version of their classic Fire in the Hole. There was a point where it didn't look like we'd get a chance to ride it though, as they had announced a later opening date, but as luck would have it, they announced shortly after that there would be a soft opening the weekend we'd be at the park. So I was even more excited about this event. One thing that was hidden by the darkness of night when we arrived the previous evening was just how scenic the location of our cabins were, with an awesome view of Table Rock Lake below. And you could tell there was a lot of growth with this complex as they were building more cabins nearby, which also has the perk of only being a short drive over to Silver Dollar City. I will say though, the shuttle bus could be a little bit more comfortable.
Oh my gosh! How's your seat, Gary?
Well, in my travels, there have been some very tight seats, and this is probably the tightest of all. Well, normally one would be inclined to start with Time Traveler in the morning. We're on a little bit of a different mission, if you will, because there's something that we need to investigate. And that investigation was whether or not Fire in the Hole had opened up for the day. And while there was some signage prepared for when it would be down, that wasn't the case as many of the first clusters of Buzz Bar members had already arrived and gotten in line. We are about to have a magical moment because we are both getting a new credit. Yes! What stands out right away is the increased level of theming they have for the ride's queue, as the original version really didn't have any, and the inclusion of wanted posters for those dastardly bald knobbers gave you a bit of warning for what was to come during your ride. What's really neat about this rebuild is that Silver Dollar City worked in collaboration with RMC, who provided the track and trains of the ride, keeping in the spirit of the old version with the rescue wagons. But you could see some of those Rocky Mountain design elements within their trains. So first things first, we had a bit of an incident in our ride on Fire in the Hole, and
I broke it.
Larson! Yes? Why'd you break the ride? We ended up stuck on the brake run after the splash.
But we did finish.
We did.
10 minutes later.
Yeah, it took us a couple of minutes to get going again. However, Larson, what do we think of the new Fire in the Hole?
So great. Like such a perfect reproduction of the original. I was a huge fan of the original. It's not extreme. It's just fun. Like it makes you laugh. You have a good time.
Absolutely, and I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more because this was such a great tribute to the original ride that
Absolutely.
It felt like the old ride as if it was brand new. And the storyline with the bald knobbers and the hijinks that were going on with it, but they still had a lot of the original scenes.
And the on-ride audio,
yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah, love the fact that you go through the town with the music playing in the background in the train itself. It adds just a new dynamic. So
Perfect.
Great
addition.
job by Silver Dollar City making this happen. Our timing off of the ride gave us a chance to chat with a member of Silver Dollar City's management team, Nick Lavelle, who gave us some neat insight about the newest ride in the park. And after getting to ride it, many of us would begin to spread out into other areas, with some heading to hit the park's coasters, such as the popular RMC creation Outlaw Run, which unfortunately has really tight seatbelts, so I wasn't able to ride, but the rest of the crew enjoyed some of the coaster's crazy airtime.
A group of us then went over to the incredibly scenic B&M Looper Wildfire, which is still among the better B&M coasters, if not for the view alone. After a few rides, a whole bunch of buzz bars descended upon the Rivertown Smokehouse, which had one of the park's unique desserts with their twice-baked bread pudding. Add some sides like a mix of regular and sweet potato tater tots, and some mac and cheese with a couple of different meats, and you had a pretty darn good meal that could potentially get you through the rest of the day in the park. There was a point where it seemed as if the club had claimed a quarter of the smokehouse's patio space. From there, several of us went for a ride on Powder Keg, which is still a great ride, although admittedly the restraint has become a tad bit uncomfortable for larger riders, but it still holds up as a great part of their coaster collection.
Well, we got a blast! See you later!
That man kicked out of the park. He was disobeying the rule.
A larger buzz bar takeover would come with a couple laps on Time Traveler, their incredible Mach Extreme spinning coaster, which I still consider to be the top coaster of the park, as I love how every lap is a little different than the previous, since your positioning might not exactly be the same thanks to the spinning and the different elements.
Yes. Yes.
As good as you thought? Or you
I
expected?
I'm still trying to figure it out, to be honest.
It's amazing.
It is really fun. It's a ton of fun.
Some would go for more laps on Time Traveler, and others decided to pay a visit to its classic Aero Mine Train coaster, Thunderation, which felt like it had a few more kinks in the track than I remember from previous visits. But I still dig how it feels like one of the fastest mine coasters out there. The next couple of rides were of the classic variety, including a favorite of mine in Grandfather's Mansion, a funhouse-style attraction where the angle of the floor and the objects you see can really disorient you as you walk through it.
I'm going! We're doing it! Whee!
I stayed there for a weekend. Oh, man. My head hurts now. I love you.
After that was another favorite, the Flooded Mine, an interactive boat dark ride in which you ride through a prisoner silver mine and have laser guns made to look like old pistols as you aim and fire at different targets throughout the mine. I love when parks maintain classic attractions like this. There came a point in which it was time for a treat, and you can never go wrong with cinnamon bread, especially as Silver Dollar City now offers different varieties including apple cinnamon, peach cinnamon, and a caramel chocolate drizzle. Needless to say, there wasn't much of these delightful loaves left over as we dug in.
How is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's
This is my happy place.
What might have been one of my favorite moments of the weekend was heading back over toward Wildfire around sunset, as several of us took advantage of the incredible Ozarks view from the platform alongside the coaster. Still one of my favorite ways to see the sun lower past the horizon. To close out the evening, there was a buzz bar takeover back at Outlaw Run, which led to a ton of excitement, rowdiness, and a bit of that in-park buzz bar karaoke. might have led to one of the most hilarious interactions between our crew and a ride-on. That being said, many stuck around to the very end. You certainly can't go wrong with a whole day at Silver Dollar City, and there'd still be more, but there were also other coasters to be ridden in the area. Thank you for watching this video from Coasting with Culture. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and click on the subscribe button to see future videos here on YouTube, like these ones which you may enjoy as well. Additional content can be found at coastingwithculture.com, and you can also follow Coasting with Culture on various social media channels at CoastWCulture for announcements, previews, and updates. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, take care and safe travels.